Welcome back to New Heights, ladies and gentlemen.
How's it going?
We're your hosts. I'm Travis Kelce. This is my big brother, Jason Kelce, out of Cleveland Heights, Ohio.
The Kelce Brothers.
Jason and Travis, tremendous athletes, great well-known players on their way to Hall of Fame careers. I did want to name my daughter after a football player. My wife did not let me.
Jason Kelce got his podcast, which is what everybody thinks of making him culturally relevant.
We love watching athletes do their thing on the pitch, or field, or green, rink, ring, course, court, track, table, pool. Okay, you get it. Lots to choose from. But in this video, we're turning our attention to athletes' off-field exploits and the irresistible lure of content creation. That's right, athletes, content creators, they're merging.
You consider me the best actor/model, and not the other way around.
Merge that.
But can you really blame them? Using these two burly men as our case study, we'll figure out how the relationship between brands, athletes and audiences has evolved, and unpick the ways that savvy stars are transcending their sports to become content butterflies? Fly, my pretty, fly.
Why is it making me go cross-eyed?
Why do you hate butterflies?
So scary. They're basically moths.
Yep. The flourishing sports docuseries format, covering everything from Formula One and football to basketball, tennis and athletics, has laid bare our insatiable appetite for more complex sports stories that go beyond the sports field. Or tram lines, or end zone, or mat, or perimeter. Oh, we're not doing this again. Top athletes in today's social universe understand the power of narrative control, cultivating personal brands and positioning themselves as multifaceted individuals with diverse interests and passions. Whether it's to build a media empire, an attempt to stay relevant in the off-season, or to avoid the post-retirement descent into obscurity, the benefits of achieving relatability beyond sport are substantial. But let's focus on two of these athletes, American football stars Travis and Jason Kelce.
You actually have a Jason Kelce jersey? Oh. I am like religiously obsessed with the New England Patriots. This is my Tom Brady jersey. I have like 8 versions of this.
But do you have a dog cheering you on?
I don't have a dog, but I did want to name my daughter after a football player. My wife did not let me.
Greg and I love sports. It's golf, basketball, and football.
Like if you look at American television ratings, for example, like the top 30 shows of every year are just NFL games. Oscars somehow sometimes slide in there, the Grammys slide in there, but otherwise we're like a presidential debate. Otherwise, like the top 30 events are all NFL playoff games, Super Bowl, Sunday Night Football.
Backing up, before Jason Kelce got his podcast, which is what everybody thinks of making him culturally relevant, I think he was culturally relevant before that, because when the Eagles won their first Super Bowl ever, he came in this like crazy outfit. I think it's a mummer's outfit or something. And then he just became this like icon of just somebody that pushes the limits, that's extremely passionate. It's not like he's a quarterback or a wide receiver or somebody that's known of having these big personalities. He's a center.
It's not a star position, right? Like star positions are quarterback, wide receiver, running back, linebacker, right? Center is normally like a chubby fat guy. And it's a grunt position that you just need to be big and strong and nothing fancy.
And that's what makes this also kind of epic, is he's a center.
Jason and Travis, Jason's the older brother. He played for the Philadelphia Eagles for at least 10 years.
It was 13 years.
He's like a Hall of Fame level player, a great player. Travis, younger, is even a better football player. He will go down as one of the 3 best tight ends, his position, to ever play. And so even before they were sort of like social media famous, they weren't just like average football players who have risen from nothing. They were both like tremendous athletes, great well-known players on their way to Hall of Fame careers.
And then it gets even more exciting because they play each other in the Super Bowl. Yeah, so the parents are there, and they're like, "Who do we like? What do we do?" So
that started it. Yeah. So that became like the super line of even like the like non-sporting media, but just like your morning talk shows. Like, oh my God, these 2 brothers are playing in the Super Bowl. Will the mom show up in a jersey that's split in half? Will who will she root for? Like there's those sort of human interest stories, and then out of that bore more sort of mainstream media interest in them.
So there were funny memes that for a sports fan made you mad, but they're like, oh my God, I can't believe Taylor Swift put Travis Kelce on the map. And you're like, what?
And like a lot of athletes though have their own podcast. Like they're not unique in that sense.
I think that people are tired of watching Get Up and First Take and watching all of the commentators like Stephen A talk so much crap about who's going to get traded and what's going on. And it's all about the business of it. And they like make like Dan had horrible predictions about Jalen Hurts this year, and it ticked off every Eagles fan. And he was wrong. He finally admitted that he was wrong. So the standard like status quo shows that you watch on ESPN are just, it's a bunch of bickering, and it's, you know, like it's like watching Fox News. But then you watch the Kelce brothers, who you know genuinely love each other, but they've played on opposite teams. And they talk about Happy Gilmore's swing. They talk about golf. They talk about cultural moments and not just what they expect is going to happen in sports. And they're laughing, they're having a good time. It's not about the crap that you see on TV.
To a lot of people, that's way more engaging.
Yeah.
Even if they're not like the smartest guys in the world. Jason's probably smarter than Travis for sure, but like, I'm not learning too much from that show other than getting sort of like a cool behind the scenes look at how the football world works, how the celebrity world works from like a dude's perspective. And that's what's entertaining about it.
And then my new favorite is Not Gonna Lie, which is Jason Kelce's wife, Kylie Kelce. She has her own podcast, and she talks about the first date they ever went on, and he fell asleep at the bar. It's the fact that they are comfortable picking on each other, yet they clearly love each other. It's the same contrast of like knowing that the two brothers were going to the Super Bowl, but they still love each other. That both teams met again this year, but Jason's retired, but he still pulled for the Eagles. And it's just that dynamic of like, it should be contrasting, but it's clear they love each other. They can pick on each other.
You know, and the average athletic pro athlete career, and a very good one, a high level player, is only 10 years. It's not matter how much money you make or how well you do, like you have to do something with your life, right? When you're done with work at 35, right? And so a lot of them are realizing that if I just spend a little bit of time during my playing career, building up my social media profile, starting a podcast, getting better in front of a camera, more natural in front of the camera, I can have a job just talking about my sport or my life for the rest of my life. And again, building your social platform makes you more likely to get those big TV commercials and those big brand sponsorships, right? How big is their current social media following? How good that they are on social media is now a huge part of that calculus.
So there we have it. As athletes morph into content creators, not only are they diversifying their own personal brands, but they're also revolutionizing the way that we perceive influencer partnerships. And it's a shift that underscores the diminishing significance of traditional media and the importance of owning and monetizing content. The rise of athlete content creators like the Kelce Brothers shows that it's high time for brands to rethink their strategies, prioritize socials, and consider themselves as creators too.
Most of the audio going on for me is just it's just grunts.
Pure comedy.